Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you all. For those of you who are just joining us, thank you for joining us at AIMA's Colors of India Golden Jubilee Gala evening. We are delighted to celebrate a key landmark in AIMA's journey as a premier body, which brings industry, academia, and modern principles of management together. The evening today is special as it marks the Golden Jubilee of AIMA's National Management Convention, and we have lined up some exciting creative cultural presentations which bring together and in front of you the souls of India. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Colors of India. We would like to thank our sponsors who have supported this award ceremony. Our sincere thanks to Platinum sponsors, Reliance Industries Limited, Diamond sponsors, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, Jindal Steel and Power Limited, Tata Steel Limited, and Triveni Turbines Limited. Gold sponsors, Apollo Hospitals Enterprise Limited, Dempo Group of Companies, Fostima Business School, Hindustan Unilever Limited, Kirloskar Brothers Limited, Neo Foods, Usha International, and Vodafone Idea Limited. Knowledge partner, KPMG in India. Silver sponsor, Ambuja Neotia Group, Kevin Care Private Limited, and Gale India Limited. Bronze sponsors, Amway, Bosch Limited, GL Bajaj Institute of Technology and Management, Hindustan University, Institute of Public Enterprise, IMS Ghaziabad, JK Paper Limited, Medicaps, NHPC Limited, Punjab National Bank, Steel Authority of India Limited, Safe Express, Transport Corporation of India, Corporate Contributor, Engineers India Limited, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, IFCO, Indian Metals and Ferroalloys Limited, Jaipuria School of Business, MEPSC, Pattern International, and Pacific Link College. As we would like you to enjoy this evening, we request you all to please switch off the ringers of your phones. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a very good evening and a warm welcome to you all. We are ready to start with the gala evening performances. So once again, a gentle reminder, as we would like you to enjoy the evening, we request you all to please switch off the ringers of your phones. Ladies and gentlemen, before we officially begin the evening's program, we have a few special performances lined up just for you, courtesy of the renowned Zenith Dance Company. So please take your seats, members of the audience who are still standing at the back. May I request you all to please be seated and get ready to be captivated. Our first act is an exceptional fusion titled Melange, Kathak and Indo-Western fusion. In this performance, you will witness the mesmerizing blend of Western and Indian classical dance forms harmonizing with Western fusion music. This unique fusion creates a captivating synergy of diverse dance forms, showcasing the beauty of cultural diversity and the essence of artistic innovation. Get ready to be transported into a world where tradition meets innovation and where movement and music come together to tell an extraordinary story. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by.
My sunrise on the darkest day got me feeling some kind of way. Make me wanna savor every moment slowly. You fit me, tell me love how you put it on. Got the only key know how to turn it on. The way you never love my ear, the only words I wanna hear. Baby, take it slow so we can last long.
Tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy acercando y voy armando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso.
Ya me está gustando más de lo normal. Todos mis sentidos van pidiendo más. Estoy que tomando sin ningún apuro.
Despacito, te abrazo despacito. Eres de tu laberinto. Es el mundo todo manuscrito. Pasito a pasito, suave suavecito, nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Cuando tú me besas, con esa destreza, yo caigo mal a la cabeza, oye. Sabe que sabemos, buscando de mi boca, me prepare mi boca para una como te sabe. Yo quiero ver cuando como de ti te clave. Yo no tengo prisa, yo me quiero dar el clave. A veces por el norte no me salvaje. Pasito a pasito, suave suavecito, nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Cuando te muevo, no te destreza, no quiero mi caricia, no te caricia. Despacito, quiero que te abrazo despacito. Cuando eres de tu laberinto, es el mundo todo un manuscrito. Despacito.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the generous applause. Right after Melange, Kathak, and intro Western fusion, we have a groundbreaking act that's truly a cut above. Get ready to be amazed as our solo dancer takes center stage alongside a mesmerizing LED screen. In a cut above interactive LED dance performance, we bring you a unique fusion of dance and cutting-edge technology. Watch in awe as the dancer engages with captivating visuals, blurring the lines between reality and imagination. Enjoy the show. May I request you all to welcome the artist on stage with a huge round of applause. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you enjoyed those performances. May I request you all to let's give a resounding applause to these artists, these performers. They're a very talented lot, have made a big name for themselves and have been in action for more than 2 decades. Zenith Dance Company does not need any introduction. They have taken Bollywood and dance to the next level and beyond. So ladies and gentlemen, as we have already shared with you, that we have lots more to come, but meanwhile, please bear with us as we are awaiting the arrival of the Honorable Chief Guest, who is due to join us shortly. However, the traffic at this time, the legendary Delhi traffic, is of course known to all. I can see many people smiling there. So right now on this road itself, there is a huge jam, and the honored chief guest, of course, is stuck, and so are many others in the traffic jam. So please bear with us. We have lots more to come, lots more beautiful performances, and we have some recognitions and awards to be presented as well. So please do bear with us as we are awaiting the arrival of the honorable dignitaries who are due to join us anytime now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to share with you that we have received Mr. Amitabh Kant, India's G20 Sherpa, the honorable chief guest for this special evening. He is here in our midst. He has reached. So we shall be starting again with the rest of the program in a few minutes as soon as he joins us inside the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have Mr. Amitabh Kant, India's G20 Sherpa, as the honorable chief guest for this special evening. Let's welcome him with a round of applause. Honorable Chief Guest, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, we will now commence the evening's program, Colors of India, AIMA's Golden Jubilee Gala Evening. We begin with a special performance by Zenith Dance Company titled Navaras, a contemporary dance performance. This dance form, a fusion of classical ballet and modern dance, is celebrated worldwide for its unique style. Tonight, it showcases the 9 rasas of life, expressing a range of emotions. Prepare to be enthralled by this dynamic performance as Zenith takes the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated as we prepare the stage for our chief guest and the dignitaries. May I now invite Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Amitabh Kant, India's G20 Sherpa, Mr. Shrinivas Dempo, President AIMA and Chairman Dempo Group of Companies, Mr. Nikhil, Senior Vice President AIMA, Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Triveni Turbines, Mr. Sudhir Jalan, past President, AIMA and Co-Chairman, Writer, India Private Limited, and Ms. Rekha Sethi, Director General, AIMA, to please join us on the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, let's extend a round of applause and welcome them on stage. May I now request Ms. Rekha Sethi, Director General, AIMA, to give her introductory remarks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Amitabh Kant, Mr. Shrinivas Dempo, Mr. Nikhil Sawhney, Mr. Sudhir Jalan, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to have you all with us this evening in our celebration of AIMA's 50th Golden Jubilee Annual National Management Convention. I do hope you enjoyed the sessions earlier today. Tonight, we mark a significant milestone at the 50th National Management Convention, a testament to the legacy of AIMA. This evening is a celebration not only of AIMA, but also a tribute to the countless individuals, including our past presidents, council members, office bearers, members and affiliates, who have shaped AIMA into the influential institution it is today. This evening, we have come together to celebrate and honor this remarkable journey, and we are delighted to have our members, delegations of local management associations from 50 LMAs from all over India, media, and all our wonderful speakers and friends of AIMA join us for a party tonight. A very, very warm welcome to all of you. Amitabh, it's wonderful to have you as the chief guest for AIMA's special day. You bring so much passion and energy to everything that you do and say. It's always stimulating to hear you speak. You are the Prime Minister's go-to man for most important and challenging tasks, and you've done an amazing job as India's G20 Sherpa. AIMA is privileged to have you as a friend, and we are grateful to you for accepting our request to be with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our chief guest for the evening, India's G20 Sherpa, Mr. Amitabh Kant. Srini, Nikhil, and Mr. Jalan, it's always a pleasure to have you, and thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to celebrate this significant milestone in AIMA's journey with a delightful fusion of entertainment and inspiration. You will have the pleasure of witnessing captivating performances by the renowned Zenith Dance Company. You've already seen two, we have one more to go. And we will also have the privilege of presenting AIMA's esteemed Managing India Awards to distinguished individuals who have made exceptional contributions to our nation's economy and society. AIMA has always been at the forefront of recognizing and celebrating excellence in the field of management, and the AIMA Managing India Awards remain one of the most coveted business leadership awards in the country. Tonight, we will also be honoring 3 iconic individuals who were unable to join us in April to receive the Managing India Awards trophy. A warm welcome to these transformative leaders, Mr. R.C. Bhargava, Mr. Aroon Purie, and Ms. Rohini Nilekani. We are honored to felicitate you tonight. I would also like to welcome 3 equally accomplished individuals who are also icons in their own right, who have so kindly accepted a request to introduce the award winners, Mr. Sunil Kant Munjal, Ms. Nandita Das, and Mr. Rajiv Makhni. It's great to have you with us. Thank you. It is wonderful to have so many distinguished guests, including AIMA's friends and well-wishers, and many past presidents and council members. I'm delighted that you have joined us today to celebrate 50 years of our annual convention. AIMA has come a long way, and I salute and acknowledge all who have joined this caravan over the years and have brought us to where we are today, a leader and facilitator of the management movement in India. But in the words of Robert Frost, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. We need the support and blessings of each one of you to walk these miles with us and take AIMA to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, seated with us on the dais this evening, I would request now Mr. Shrinivas Dempo, President AIMA, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Rekha. Very good evening to all the distinguished dignitaries on the dais, all the august members of the audience, Sri Amitabh Kant, India's G20 Sherpa, and a friend of AIMA, my colleague in AIMA, Nikhil, Rekha, past president, Mr. Sudhir Jalan, distinguished and respected past presidents, some of who are present today, distinguished award winners, eminent guests, members of the council, many of the representatives who've come in large numbers representing the state councils, friends in the media, and ladies and gentlemen. I would like to add to the welcome of Rekha, and it's a real pleasure and a privilege to stand before you as the president of AIMA and welcome you in this celebration of management excellence, and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. We are especially privileged to have India's G20 Sherpa, Mr. Amitabh Kant, as the chief guest with us today. Mr. Kant has always guided and supported AIMA in all its initiatives and has been a true friend. Mr. Kant, it's a real pleasure to have you, and many thanks for agreeing to join us on this very special occasion of the 50th edition of the National Management Convention Gala evening, and also present the prestigious AIMA Managing Awards to some of India's best and brightest minds from diverse domains. You are a phenomenal innovator, an inspirational leader, and an exceptional administrator. You are also a consummate negotiator, as we've recently seen, and you've proved during the recent G20 summit in Delhi. You have set very high benchmarks for management excellence throughout your career in the bureaucracy, as Niti Aayog CEO, and now as India's G20 Sherpa. You bring with you great knowledge, know-how, diligence, rigor, and discipline to whatever role you are assigned. Thanks to your efforts as G20 Sherpa, India has established itself as a central player in the global economic and geopolitical affairs. It's a privilege to have you, and a very warm welcome once again. Ladies and gentlemen, as Rekha has said, today we're celebrating 50 years of AIMA's National Management Convention, and we are looking towards the future of Indian economy and management. Over the last one day, that since morning to now, we've had interesting debates, viewpoints from some of the brightest minds in India. And which shows we are at the cusp of prosperity and power, and its management leaders need to align with the emerging shape of the world. It is a time to dream big and dream a new dream, and a time to commit ourselves to new standards of aspiration and performance. Last year, our Bharat completed 75 years of its existence and began the next phase of its progress towards becoming a very powerful and developed economy. India has never had it so good. It finds itself at the center of the world's attention because of its economic heft and its geopolitical importance. India is a bright spot in a dismal global economy right now, and the world is looking towards India to ensure peace and stability. In fact, India is at the center of the new world order. The shift from a unipolar world to a multipolar world is marked by mutual anxiety, hostility, and distrust. India is emerged as the decisive factor in the new balance of power. India showed that its influence on all when it managed to get rival sides to compromise and sign the Delhi Summit Declaration. Now, the West is increasingly relying on India to rebalance its supply chains that are becoming geopolitically vulnerable. It is a time for India to rapidly build its technology, innovation, and management capabilities to deliver on its own and the world's great expectations. The new India needs a new dream, a dream of being a country with high standards of living for every single Indian, a dream of being an evolved country that offers the world new models of economy, democracy, governance, technology, and culture. Tonight, I'm really privileged to be standing here and acknowledging that we are also celebrating some leaders who have not only achieved amazing success in their chosen domain, but who have also had a broader impact on Indian economy, polity, and society. Tonight, we will honor a doyen of the Indian automotive industry, a transformative media founder, and a reformist philanthropist. As Rekha said, they were not able to join us in April for the Managing India Awards, but we are privileged to honor them this evening. Once again, a very warm welcome, and let's have a great award and felicitation ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the warm welcome address. We will now start our special award ceremony, where some leading personalities will be honored with the AIMA Managing India Awards. So without further ado, let's get set to appreciate these special achievers. Ladies and gentlemen, we start the award distribution with the Corporate Citizen Award. This award is given to an individual who has made significant contribution to public good, be it through strengthening the health and education system, alleviating poverty, helping the handicapped, or providing underprivileged children a promising future, just to name a few areas. To introduce the winner of this award, may I invite on stage Ms. Nandita Das, Indian actor and filmmaker.
Good evening, everyone. Gives me great pleasure to read this citation. I'm a personal admirer of the work that Rohini has been doing for many years. An outstanding social entrepreneur and a committed philanthropist, she has been named the most generous woman in India by Aroon India Philanthropy Report for 3 consecutive years. She's also a signatory to the Giving Pledge and has co-founded and co-funded many social organizations during the past 3 decades, including Ek Step, Nagrik, Pratham Books, Akshara Foundation, and Arghyam. She's currently the chairperson of Rohini Nilekani Philanthropies, a foundation that supports work in environment and biodiversity, access to justice, civic engagement, gender equity, and mental health. Rohini has spoken and written about the continuum of Samaj, Sarkar, or Bazaar, and the importance of all 3 sectors working together. Her philanthropy is based on the belief that a strong Samaj is essential for markets to be healthy and for governments to be responsive. All India Management Association is pleased to confer the AIMA Managing India Corporate Citizen Award on Ms. Rohini Nilekani, Chairperson, Rohini Nilekani Philanthropies.
May I also request Nandan, can you join us, please? Please. Please come.
Thank you, Ms. Das. Congratulations, Ms. Nilekani. And we warmly welcome Mr. Nilekani on the stage as well. I'll request Ms. Nilekani to kindly say a few words.
सबको धन्यवाद और नमस्ते. Especially thank you to AIMA for being here. You know, we live in complex and challenging times, and I think one of the 3 qualities that we do need to cultivate in ourselves, though they are hard, is Damyata, Dayatvam, and Datta. How can we cultivate empathy, self-restraint, and charity? That's how I think we can help to create a successful Samaj in which all we will be proud to belong, and a safe harbor for our children, grandchildren, and generations beyond. Dhanyavad, namaste.
Our heartiest congratulations once again to you both, in fact. The next award this evening is for the lifetime contribution to media. This accolade is given to an individual who has made a mark in media over the years, including print and broadcast media, cinema, art, and culture, whose contribution has revolutionized the industry and changed the face of media in the 21st century. To read the citation and to introduce the winner of this award, we have with us Mr. Sunil Kant Munjal, Chairman, Hero Enterprise. May I request you, sir, to please join us on stage.
You know, near 50 years ago, when Aroon chose this profession, he actually surprised many of us. A graduate from LSE, a qualified chartered accountant, someone who could have chosen politics, built a CA firm, built a business, or joined the World Bank. But he chose the path then less traveled. A pioneering media entrepreneur, a fearless editor, and a benchmark for publishing standards. He has led many transformations in Indian news media over the past half a century. A man with a keen sense of observation and an ear to the ground, he has always been quick to respond to and anticipate evolving needs and trends. He transformed magazine journalism with many innovations and has endeavored to uphold the gold standard of journalism in all the media ventures. He's been a pioneer of video news, 24/7 Hindi news on television, FM radio, and digital media. One of the longest serving editors in India, he has set standards for print, television, and internet journalism throughout his career. He was awarded the Padma Bhushan by the President of India in 2001, along with a host of acclaimed national and international awards for his contribution to Indian journalism. All India Management Association is pleased to confer the Managing India Lifetime Contribution to Media Award on Mr. Aroon Purie, founder, publisher, and editor-in-chief, India Tech Group.
Thank you.
Can we have Mrs. Purie on the stage? We have your wife on the stage. Please come.
Our heartiest congratulations to Mr. Aroon Purie. And also joining us on the stage this evening, Mrs. Purie. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Sure.
Don't worry, I'm not going to give a long speech because I'm here. Mr. Amitabh Kant, chief guest. Firstly, congratulations for a very successful G20. I think gentleman needs an applause. Amazing. And distinguished members of AIMA on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to receive this award. Delighted because you've given a media person an award. Because these days, media is the best whipping boy for everybody. We're the ones who create riots. We're the ones who create all the chaos in society. We are responsible for all the ills in society. Most often, the messenger is shot. But I'm not saying we are perfect. Bad apples exist in every profession. Are all the businessmen honest? Are all politicians honest? Excuse me, but are all bureaucrats honest? No, there are always bad apples in an industry. And you can't condemn them just because of that. And let me tell you, readers and viewers are very smart. They know where propaganda ends and real journalism begins. But a free press is essential for India. It's essential for our democracy, especially when our democracy is not functioning so well. As you can see, more debates are held on news channels than they're held in Parliament. And that's a sad thing to say. Think whatever it is, whatever the fault is, would you be better off without the press? Just think about that for a moment. I believe journalism is a noble profession, for it carries a social responsibility, just like doctors and teachers. There must be a certain code of conduct, although it is like a business, and the medical profession is too, but it still has a social responsibility. In journalism, seeking the truth as best as you can and presenting it objectively. That's the aim. Today, this is even more important in today's environment, where there's an epidemic of fake news, which is going to get further aggravated by AI. Maybe Nandan can solve that problem, but we'll wait for that. And truth is danger of becoming an endangered species. And there's a tsunami of digital information. And of course, there's WhatsApp University, which lots of people get their unverified information from. It is therefore imperative that journalism has to step up to the plate and do its job honestly. And it's required for India's democracy to survive. I must also say that this award goes to all those talented people who have worked with me in these last, 48 years, and those who continue to work. My role has been that of a gardener. All these talented people come and bloom in my garden, right, and make me look good. So this is the reason why I'm getting this award. And lastly, my long-suffering family, who have lived with somebody for 48 years on a 24-hour news cycle. News is like time. It doesn't stop. It just keeps flowing. And you have to be in it all the time. So I'm really delighted that you have recognized somebody in the media. Thank you so much, AIMA. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Purie, for sharing your thoughts with us here this evening, and congratulations once again to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the last award of the evening is for lifetime contribution. This accolade is awarded to an individual who has revolutionized existing practices in their respective field and put India on the world map by displaying exemplary leadership excellence. To introduce the winner, we have with us Mr. Rajiv Makni, technology journalist and founder, RM Media Limited. May I request him to please join us on stage.
So, personal honor, Mr. Bhargava, because of the fact that, one, I'll make an honest confession today, I like cars way more than gadgets. So, not very many people know that. And the second thing is that the first ever car that I bought was a second-hand Maruti 800. So, makes a big difference that I'm actually giving it to the man that made the people's car happen. So, I'll read the official citation. A doyen in the Indian auto industry, he's played a leading role in developing a modern automobile industry in India and reshaping personal transport. Under his leadership, the fledgling public sector company Maruti Udyog Limited became a symbol of a successful Indo-Japanese partnership, grew into a leading car manufacturer and a very large creator, I think this is important, a very large creator of wealth and employment for India. Over the decades, he's managed and guided Maruti, working as joint managing director, and chairman. He introduced the best features of Japanese management in the company, boosting quality and productivity. He brought in the concept of cooperation between the workforce and management, pivotal for MUL's success. And under his guidance, the company has provided exceptional consumer satisfaction. I'm going to go off script and off citation now. There's something that that I was very profoundly affected in your book, the Maruti story. And very few things, I think, especially a product, sometimes can change a whole nation. There was a remarkable point you made in your book, and I think in an interview at some point later, that the part that struck you and also struck a lot of people was that what that car did for women. It's sometimes something that we override. At that time, very few women wanted to drive the car ambassador because it was more a torture test than really anything about driving skills. And a lot of women did not also want to take public transport like buses. So mobility was a huge factor for women at that time. And the Maruti started off women empowerment. Women were able to work, join the workforce, start their own work, their own businesses. So I think instead of just calling Maruti people's car, I think we should also call it a women's car, because I think it changed the nation. So a big, big change that you brought about, I think, for women. So I think before we give you a big hand to come on stage, can we give you a big hand for that? So now I'm going to go back on script. During his 25 years as a civil servant, prior to joining Maruti, he held important posts of Joint Secretary in the Cabinet Secretariat and the Ministry of Energy in the Government of India. He was also active in the education field, having chaired both an IIM and an IIT. Therefore, the All India Management Association is pleased to confer the AIMA Managing India Lifetime Contribution Award. And I think whenever it's a Lifetime Contribution Award, I think you should always take the full name. So instead of saying Mr. R.C. Bhargava, I'm going to call upon Mr. Ravindra Chandra Bhargava, Chairman, Maruti Suzuki India Limited, to receive his Lifetime Contribution Award.
Thank you, Mr. Makni. Our heartiest congratulations to Sri Bhargava. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the applause should continue, because here's a living legend. And we warmly welcome Mrs. Bhargava onto the stage as well. Here is a person, ladies and gentlemen, I think each and every one of us in this room has owned a Maruti as their first car. I'll request Mr. Bhargava to kindly say a few words. Oh, thank you.
I really don't know how to thank all of you for the kind of love and respect you have shown just now. Thank you, everybody. I'm particularly grateful to AIMA, not only because they've honored me with this award, but they've done it on their Golden Jubilee. And may I extend my heartiest congratulations on this event and wish AIMA a long and productive decades to come ahead. The honor also has a special meaning because of the company in which I've got the honor. Aroon Purie, he was being somewhat, I think, unfair by saying that we think the media is something which is to be whipped. I think I have known Aroon for a long time, and he certainly contributed the media which he has pioneered in India, has certainly made a huge impact on the lives of a whole lot of people in this country. Aroon, the media is not a whipping boy at all. I think the media is something which is to be celebrated and respected. Madam, I haven't ever met you, but I have read about the wonderful things you've been doing in this country. And it's a great honor to be in your company in getting this award. Lastly, I would like to say that this award reflects something which I think in India we need to understand, which is teamwork. All these awards, Mr. Purie said the same thing, cannot become possible, the achievements cannot become possible unless you build trust, and with trust build a very strong team of people who are committed to the same objectives as you have. We tend to be much more individualistic. We tend to show people that we have achieved. In fact, individuals can never really achieve. Achievements are all collective. I've had the honor of receiving several awards at different places. But I know, and I sincerely mean this, that these awards have come to me only because of what people, not only the employees of Maruti, but a whole lot of others, our supplier community, our dealer community, and a whole lot of other people who have helped in making this Maruti and what it has achieved a reality. I was a fairly ignorant bureaucrat when I joined the company. I knew nothing about management, so it's somewhat of an anomaly that I'm standing in a management association receiving an award for managing India. But that has come about only because of the team which was around me and what that team taught me. Yes, I was a good learner, but without the team, I could never have learned. And it's that learning and trusting people and believing them, people in India can do absolute wonders. They have to be given the chance to do it. Unfortunately, over the last many decades, we, and here I mean we when I was a bureaucrat, we tended to believe that we knew it all. And people didn't get a chance to do things. Fortunately, that's changed. And so I believe we have a glorious future, and I hope all of you will witness what India will be in the coming years. So thank you very much for what you've done to me today.
Thank you, sir, and heartiest congratulations once again. It's an honor and privilege to have you here in our midst this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the award presentation ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you all to give a big round of applause one more time for all our awardees tonight. May I now invite Mr. Sudhir Jalan, past President AIMA, to kindly introduce the Honorable Chief Guest for this evening's function, Mr. Amitabh Kant, India's G20 Sherpa.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, you have given me a very onerous task. How do I introduce someone who has been in the newspapers and all the TV channels, perhaps more than anyone else except the Prime Minister the last 30 days? By now, even a small child in India knows who Amitabh Kant is. But what we probably don't know, and I'll probably think I will shed a light on that, is how he rose. He started as a typical bureaucrat in Kerala, but then Amitabh could never be a typical bureaucrat. He created the brand image of Kerala as God's own country. And then he was picked up by the Prime Minister, brought here, and joined the Ministry of Industrial Policy and Promotion. And a brand builder that he has been, he made Made in India, Incredible India, Shape Up India, Startup India, all the typical brands. Joined Niti Aayog, and as a fitting finale, he became the Sherpa. And that gave the name Sherpa itself a new twist. The last Sherpa I had admired was Tenzing Norgay, way back in 1953. And now we only hear of Sherpa Amitabh Kant. Amitabh, you have done us proud and the country proud by the way you have rallied around, the incredible energy and the reconciliation you have done of so many countries, so opposite forces pulling in different direction to bring US and UK on the one side and China and Russia on the one side to agree on certain things, on the Ukraine thing. It's incredible, all the work which went behind the scenes, the admission of African Union as a country, remarkable. Whether it will be now G20 plus one or G21, we don't know. But here is a person of whom we all are proud. I give to you Amitabh Kant.
Mr. Shrinivas Dempo, Nikhil, Mr. Sudhir Jalan, thank you for those kind words. Rekha, Sethi. Let me first say that it's been a great honor for me to give the awards to three very, very distinguished people whom I've admired for a very long time, and I've grown up admiring them. And I would really like to begin by extending my heartiest congratulations to Rohini, Nilekani, Aroon, Purie, and Mr. R.C. Bhargava. The recognition of their unparalleled contribution is, to my mind, greatly, richly reserved. And I think for me, presenting awards to these three great people from India was itself a great honor for me.
Rohini, Nilekani, an author, a philanthropist, she's left an indelible mark on India's social sector. Her initiatives from founding Aragyam for water sustainability to co-founding Pratham Books, you know, her unwavering commitment to change, currently chairing the Philanthropies and co-directing Ek Step for Education, her contribution for Diksha. I was running the aspirational district programs where we were improving the 115 of the most backward districts of India, and I covered some of the most far-flung districts of India where they were using Diksha on the mobile, screening it, and the best education classes could all be gone through in the far-flung villages of India thanks to Rohini's Diksha. And she continues to inspire with her transformative work. Her dedication to a better, more equitable India, to my mind, is really, really remarkable. So I'm really greatly honored to give you the award. Aroon Purie, the visionary man behind India Today and the India Today group, he's a real, true media pioneer. I mean, with his leadership role in the media, Thomson Press, TV Today, vast range of magazines, internet, television media, he's reshaped journalism in India in a manner in which nobody else has. And I've grown up reading India Today, so I can tell you that Aroon's commitment to storytelling, his media excellence, has truly been inspiring for me. Mr. Bhargava, Mr. R.C. Bhargava, well, he's an ex-civil servant, so who later quit the IS to go on and become the chairman of Maruti Suzuki. And what Maruti is today, really, it epitomizes in many ways the excellence of the Indian automobile industry, and it's singularly his contribution. And Maruti's leadership is a testament to his vision and dedication and his huge managerial skills. There is not a better manager than you that India has produced. And if India has excelled in the manufacturing field in the automobile sector, it's all thanks to Mr. Bhargava. So he is not only a strategic genius, but also a great compassionate leader, a great manager, a great manufacturing leader. So Mr. Bhargava, really been a great honor for me to present this award to you. So let me move on to G20. I just finished my 7-year tenure in Niti Aayog, and it was a long, exhausting tenure. So I'd actually gone to give my thanks and call on the Prime Minister, and when I finished a long interaction with him, he said, कि आप कल जाकर join करिए ये G20. So I didn't even figure out what he was saying, and he said नहीं वो, तो I said सर मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. So he said नहीं वो कल join करिए, वो शेरपा की नौकरी join करिए आप कल जाके. So I didn't even know what the job of Sherpa was. So first I came back and tried to read up on what the job of Sherpa was, and then I figured out it's about taking your leader on top of the Mount Everest, and that was a tough one, you know. So, and that was you know, so I had not anticipated this, but then, you know, as I got into the job, I realized that most countries actually do their G20 in one city, or they do it in 2 cities. So Indonesia did it in 2 cities, and they thought they were being very ambitious. But then, you know, the Prime Minister said that I want G20 meetings to be held in every state of India. And he said, then we figured out that he wanted it to be done in over 60 districts of India. So we ended up doing 220 meetings in all states and 60 districts of India. So, and then he said, he called a meeting of the chief ministers and governors, And then he said that use this opportunity to transform these districts, is improve drainage, sewage, solid waste, roads, everything. So from the first meeting which we did in Udaipur, the Sherpa first meeting, till all the 220 meetings, and we did this in Lakshadweep, we did this in Ladakh, we did this in Arunachal Pradesh, we did it in Kashmir. Everywhere we used this as an opportunity to transform the districts and the cities where we were doing it. And then the Prime Minister said that use this opportunity to promote Indian artisans and push the one district, one product. So all local crafts were used as gifts, and that is the way we went around really promoting Indian traditional craftsmen in India. We also used this opportunity to promote millets. That was Prime Minister's vision, that this is an opportunity. This was also the year of the UN Year of the Millets. So every meal had millets in it. And we used this real opportunity. All the top chefs of India use millets, really. And that was a great opportunity to push for a crop for millets, which had great amount of iron, protein, and were less water consuming. But what I had not anticipated was that actually this would be very challenging in terms of negotiations. It was really tough because the Prime Minister also, the second directive he gave us was that this has to be very inclusive, this has to be very decisive, this has to be very ambitious and also action-oriented. And then he said that I don't want a divided G20, I want a consensus-based G20. And therefore the first thing that he did was to have a meeting of the Global South. So 125 leaders from the Global South participated in a virtual meeting. And from that meeting, really our priorities emerged. One thing was very clear, that we will speak the voice of the Global South, we'll speak the voice of the developing and the emerging countries. And this was very important because this year, 80% of the global growth is coming from emerging markets. If you look at the IMF and World Bank, both say 80% of the global growth is coming from emerging markets. And in the next 2 decades, 80%, 2/3 to about 75 to 80% of the growth will actually come from emerging markets. And therefore, it was very important to position ourselves as far as the requirements of the developing world was concerned. And we focused on that very vigorously. So our priorities really became the priorities of the Global South and the developing countries as we went along. We focused on very, and that was when India took over the presidency, there were several challenges. 200 million people had gone below poverty line because of COVID. 100 million people had lost their jobs. The SDG agenda, instead of progressing, had regressed. Only 12 of the 169 SDG goals are on track. And it was very important to push on that. And there was a huge challenge of climate action, climate finance. There was a challenge of multilateral institutions because they were all designed for the post-World War II period. They were designed in the post-Bretton Woods period when the crisis of climate action did not exist, when the issue of sustainable development goals did not exist. And therefore, redesigning and reformulating the multilateral institutions was very important. And then we looked at technological, how do you advance many of these emerging countries? How do you use technology to leapfrog? So technological development and what India has done in DPI, in the digital public infrastructure, became very important. And I think Nandan is sitting here, but Nandan's played a key role in some of these areas, but digital public infrastructure became a very key priority for us. Nobody had realized at that point of time that, if you look around the world, 4 billion people, we all do digital transactions, we all have identity, we all have bank accounts which are linked to our Aadhaar number and our mobile number. We do about 11x more digital fast payments in the world than America and Europe do. We do 4x more than China. But 4 billion people in the world do not have digital identity. 3 billion people do not even have a bank account. 133 countries do not have a fast payment. So it became a very big priority to evangelize this and then tell the world that this is the model to follow. It's not the big tech model of what USA has done, where transformation has taken place because of Amazon, Microsoft, or Google, or Apple, or in China because of Tencent and Alibaba, but a completely new model which is open source, open API, which is interoperable, is the model to be followed for the world. And then we had this big challenge of what the Prime Minister had said is to push for women-led development. And that became a very key priority. So what we've achieved in G20 is to achieve consensus on many of these issues, on driving very sustained, bold, inclusive growth. We've pushed the agenda through an action plan on sustainable development goals. We've pushed for a green development pact amongst leaders to drive green growth for the future, which has many, many actions. We've pushed for the digital public infrastructure's definition, the framework of it, which has been now accepted for the first time. There was a vacuum. The architecture for that has been accepted. We've managed to convince the world that women-led development, women empowerment, and gender equality is the way forward. All this we've managed to do. We've also managed to create a more inclusive world with what the Prime Minister's vision was to get Africa as one of the members. And this was important because if you look at Africa today, 6 of the fastest 12 growing countries in the world today are from Africa. And it was 55 countries come on board of G20 if you make African Union a member, and that's what India has been able to do. So it's a path-breaking initiative. Path-breaking initiative. So what India has ended up doing is that actually we've had this particular G20, if you look at Indonesian presidency, they had 50 outcomes. If you look at Italy, they had 33 outcomes. But India has pushed the envelope and has 112 outcomes. 112 outcomes. But the most important thing is that what has never happened before is that we've come out with all outcomes and on all our paragraphs as 100% consensus. There's not a single para which has a bracket or a reservation. And that has really demonstrated India's great ability to take developing countries, emerging markets, the developed G7 countries, Russia, China, all on board. Everyone on board, and bring consensus to the table. India has demonstrated its great ability to drive multilateralism. India has demonstrated its great ability to even bring consensus to an issue like Russia-Ukraine paras, where United Nations and United Nations Security Council had failed. But we've been able to bring consensus on that in our document. I mean, this couple of paras on the Russia-Ukraine crisis actually took us about close to 16 drafts. It took us about 250 hours of negotiation. It took us 9 days of non-stop negotiation, non-stop. We locked up all these different negotiators 60 kilometers away so that media could not get a whiff of what we were doing. We ensured that in the room there was no telephone, but we managed it. At the end of it all, we managed it because India's achieved we just pushed the limits and took it to a level of brinkmanship where India could achieve success. We could do this for 2 reasons. One is that India has acquired a very elevated status as far as its growth is concerned. It's the 5th largest economy. And secondly, I think, as a Sherpa, I can say that the Prime Minister's own stature and standing as a leader was very significant in this. And his stature and standing really helped us to negotiate. We could be, as negotiators, we could be bold. A Sherpa is as good as his leader, and therefore, I could be bold, I could be gutsy, I could be courageous, and I took it to brinkmanship only because I had the full backing of my leader, and I had a bold, gutsy leader who could lead, and therefore we achieved success. So I think it's been a real honor for me to be the Prime Minister's G20 Sherpa. It's a unique experience which I've had in driving this consensus, and I really think it's been a great pleasure working for the country and achieving consensus and bringing glory to this country. Thank you very much, ladies. You don't need to clap because, you know, as soon as this finished, Nikhil was asking me, have you had good sleep? And so I was planning to improve my golfing handicap and travel around India. The very next day, the Prime Minister said, काम पे वापस चलो, क्योंकि अभी तो virtual summit करनी है और इसका पूरे का implementation करना है. So with this Prime Minister, there's no full stop. You have to keep working around the clock.
Thank you, sir. And may I add, what an inspiration you are to all of us. Thank you very much for your presence here today, and thank you for that address. As we approach the conclusion of the award ceremony, may I request Mr. Nikhil Sawhney, Senior Vice President, AIMA, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Amitabh, Kant, Shrini, Rekha, Mr. Jalan, past presidents of AIMA, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks as we come to an end of today's celebration of AIMA's Golden Jubilee Gala evening. I promise not to keep you too far or away from dinner for too long. Mr. Kant, many thanks for joining us in this Golden Jubilee National Management Convention, and for also handing over the Managing India Awards to exemplary leaders from industry, media, and philanthropy. You are an amazing management leader yourself, and as you've shown with all your experiences, an extraordinary vision, rigor, and creativity in each of your roles, as India's G20 Sherpa, as Niti Aayog's CEO, as DIPP Secretary, as Chairman and CEO of Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, or as Secretary, Kerala Tourism. You are passionate about doing things better and doing new kinds of things. Every time we listen to you, we get inspired. If there's ever an opportunity that you do retire, I think the academic environment of management would gain immensely with your knowledge. Also, many congratulations to the Managing India Award winners. Each of you is special and each one of you has made transformative contributions to critical sectors of the Indian economy. Mr. Bhargava, Mr. Purie, Mrs. Nilekani, many thanks for accepting the AIMA award and for joining us today on the special celebration of AIMA's Golden Jubilee National Management Convention. Mr. Bhargava, you have achieved amazing success as a business leader, and your transformation from a bureaucrat to a CEO has been amazing. And your example should encourage more movement between the government and the private sector. Your longevity as a professional business leader is also inspirational, especially in an era when CEOs, tenures, and careers are becoming rather short. Your life and career are a tremendous inspiration to us all. Many congratulations again on your award, and thank you for joining us tonight. Mr. Purie, you're an icon of a transformed India. Your entrepreneurship and journalism had defined an era in credible Indian media. India Today has been and continues to be an icon news brand, and you continue to shape the mood and mind of those in India in the new generation. It's a privilege celebrating your illustrious career and achievements. Thank you for joining us today. Mrs. Nilekani, many congratulations. It was wonderful to hear you earlier today, and your session was truly inspirational, and I found it extremely relevant to everyone. Your contribution to improving poor people's lives and the prospect is only matched by a contribution of time and intellect to addressing India's social, economic, and political challenges. You've added a new dimension to Indian philanthropy. It was a pleasure facilitating you, and thank you very much for joining us today. I also would like to thank the citation readers who are distinguished celebrities in their own right. Thank you, Nandita Das, Rajiv Makhani, and Mr. Sunil Kant Munjal. Many thanks for helping us acknowledge the award winners. This special Golden Jubilee Gala evening has truly become a memorable and unforgettable occasion. Thanks to the presence of our chief guest, Amitabh Kant, and toward tonight's award winners and citation readers. Your participation has transformed this milestone event into an extraordinary celebration that will be cherished for years to come. And of course, those pulsating dance performances, a special thanks to the Zenith team, which we look forward to seeing one last performance before we close for the evening. Many of AIMA's past presidents, members of AIMA Council, and LMA leaders have also joined us today. Many thanks for joining us today. I also have the privilege to thank everyone and all the members who are joining us virtually, the media, and all other well-wishers of AIMA. It is a great pleasure to wrap up this evening with my request to ask all the citation readers as well as all the award winners if they could come up and take a photograph in a joint manner. But ladies and gentlemen, we do have one dance performance that we will be conducting post that photograph, and so I request you to please be seated through this. Could I request the award winners to come up on stage, please, as well as the citation readers? We also look forward to seeing everyone again tomorrow for the conclusion of our National Management Convention. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
We would request our citation readers, the awardees, to please join us on stage for a photo op. Our thanks to our citation readers and the awardees for joining us on stage for the group photo. Meanwhile, it is my pleasure to request Mr. Shrinivas Dempo, President AIMA and Chairman Dempo Group of Companies, to kindly present a memento to the Honorable Chief Guest as a token of our appreciation. I request Mr. Srinivas Dempo, President AIMA, to kindly present a memento to the esteemed Chief Guest as a token of our appreciation and thanks. We are very thankful to Mr. Amitabh Kant for his gracious presence here today. It's been an honor to have you as the chief guest. Thank you, Mr. Dempo, for doing us the honors. May I request all the dignitaries to please join us after the memento presentation in the front row for the final performance of the evening, as mentioned by Mr. Sawhney. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll request you all to kindly remain seated as we have one more spectacular performance to look forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have heard from the Honorable Chief Guest this evening, the colors, the vibrance, the beauty and the fragrance of India cannot be contained in just some dance performances. You have to really experience it and to live it. So here's continuing some more with Colors of India, wherein folk and Bollywood will come together. Please bear with us as we are getting the stage ready for the final performance of this evening and also waiting for some of our dignitaries who have just gone out to join us back. I promise you, this is one more exceptional performance. You will really enjoy the energy and the beauty that is India. Ladies and gentlemen, as we near the end of this spectacular evening, we have one more exceptional performance for you. Colors of India, folk and Bollywood come together. In this grand finale, immerse yourself in the vibrant tapestry of Indian culture as we blend the soul-stirring rhythms of folk dance with the glamour of Bollywood, celebrating our Indian heritage. Each step, each move, each beat tells a 1,000-year story of our rich and diverse nation. So, without further ado, let's conclude this unforgettable evening with Colors of India. Folk and Bollywood come together. Let's welcome them with a round of applause.
केसरिया बालम थे आवो जी पधारो म्हारे देश जी पधारो म्हारे देश हो साजन साजन मैं करूं मर साजन जीव जड़ी साजन साजन मैं करूं मर साजन जीव जड़ी साजन लिख दूं पातरी साजन लिख दूं पातरी साजन लिख दूं पातरी और बाचू घड़ी घड़ी केसरिया बालम आवली केसरिया बालम केसरिया बालम आवली केसरिया बालम केसरिया बालम आवली केसरिया बालम
नगाड़े संग ढोल बाजे हाय धाय धम धम धाय नगाड़े संग ढोल बाजे हाय धाय धाय धम धाय धिन तड़ाक आजा उड़ के सराट पैरों से बीड़ी जरा खोल नगाड़े संग ढोल बाजे हाय धाय धम धम धाय नगाड़े संग ढोल बाजे हाय धाय धाय धम धाय
ढोली तारो हे ढोली तारो हे ढोल बाजे ढोल बाजे ढोल बाजे ढोल के धम धम बाजे ढोल పొలం గట్టు దుమ్ములోన పోట్ల గిత్త దూకినట్టు పొలేరమ్మ జాతరలో పోతరాజు ఊగినట్టు కిర్రు చెప్పులేసుకొని కర్ర సాము చేసినట్టు మర్రి సొట్టు నీడలోన కుర్ర గుంపు కూడినట్టు ఎర్ర జొన్న రొట్టెలోన మిరప దొక్కు కలిపినట్టు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నాటు 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 తీర నాటు 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 కూర నాటు 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 పచ్చి మిరపలాగా నాటు 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 పిచ్చు కందిలాగా వెర్రి నాటు గుండెల తిరిపోయేలా ఢండన కరమోగినట్టు సెవులు సిల్లు పడేలాగా కీసు పిట్ట కూసినట్టు చేలు సిక్కలేసేలా చెప్పారం సాగినట్టు కాలు సిండు తొక్కేలా దుమ్మారం రేగినట్టు ఒళ్ళు చెమట పట్టేలా వీరంగం చేసినట్టు తత్తరిల్లేలా ఒంటిలోని రగతమంతా రక్కలేసి ఎగిరేలా ఎసే రోయకాయకి నాటు 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 తీర నాటు 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 కూర నాటు 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 పచ్చి మిరపలాగా నాటు 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 పిచ్చు కత్తిలాగా వెర్రి నాటు
It's that time, people. It's ready. Let's go. Girls coming in, white girls coming in, white girls coming in, white rocket coming in. Girls coming in, white girls coming in, white girls coming in, white girls. Sing it, sing it, Punjab, Bhave, Hette, Ture, Anike, Bole, Pabla, Bane, Ture, Ture, Katanike, Hette, Punjab, Bhave, Hette, Ture, Anike, Bole, Pabla, Bane, Ture, Ture, Katanike. Kade Monica, Naya, Maria, Chate, Kade Monica, Naya, Maria, Chate, Nana, what's the Punjabi? Ladies and gentlemen, just listen. It's not a Monica, they're Punjabi. It's not a Monica, they're Punjabi. It's not a Monica, they're Punjabi.
कसूर गोरे रंग दा कसूर एक तकड़ी दे नाल कर दिल चूर हाय तेरा भी कसूर गोरे रंग दा कसूर एक तकड़ी दे नाल कर दिल चूर तो नाल वाले तीर चलावे है नखरे दिखावे बड़ा तड़फावे उंगला कपड़ू नचावे हाथ कट जावे 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 यहाँ अपनी भी थोड़ी अदा थोड़ा उदास है ऐसे हैं चाहे जैसे हैं अरे जो भी हैं जैसे हैं खुद पे हम न्याज है जाने ना हमको दे ज़माना चाहो तो हमको आसमाना हर बाज हम शान साज हम इश्क बात दिल वाले कहते हैं हमको प्यार से दिया वाले चुनते के हाल से दिया वाले चुनते हाल से दिया वाले चुनते छुड़ा दे हम दिया वाले चुनते छुड़ा दे हम दिया वाले
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what an energetic conclusion to an evening of celebration and recognition. Let's give a huge round of applause to all the artists who have added color to our program and evening. May I request for a big round of applause, please? Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we come to the end of what has been a spectacular evening. Once again, our sincere thanks to our sponsors who have supported and made this possible. Our thanks to our platinum sponsors, Reliance Industries Limited, diamond sponsors, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, Jindal Steel and Power Limited, Tata Steel Limited and Triveni Turbines Limited. Our gold sponsors, Apollo Hospitals Enterprise Limited, Dempo Group of Companies, Fostima Business School, Hindustan Unilever Limited, Kirloskar Brothers Limited, Neo Foods, Usha International and Vodafone Idea Limited. Our knowledge partner, KPMG in India. Silver sponsor, Ambuja Neotia Group, Kevin Care Private Limited and Gale India Limited. Bronze sponsors, Amway, Bosch Limited, GL Bajaj Institute of Technology and Management, Hindustan University Institute of Public Enterprise, IMS Ghaziabad, JK Paper Limited, Medicaps, NHPC Limited, Punjab National Bank, Steel Authority of India Limited, Safe Express, Transport Corporation of India, our corporate contributor, Engineers India Limited, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, IFCO, Indian Metals and Ferroalloys Limited, Jaipuria School of Business, MEPSC, Pattern International and Pacific Link College. With that, we come to the end of our celebrations for today. Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is laid out. Please enjoy your evening ahead. And don't forget to join us bright and fresh early in the morning tomorrow. Be here positively because the action starts at 9:30 a.m. So see you all tomorrow. Thank you and